Hi, hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Welcome to my video today. Today I am talking about pop-up cards and the So Hoppy Together celebration stamp set. So you can't purchase this stamp set. You can only get this stamp set if you purchase £45 or more in the UK, €60 I believe in Europe, and then you can choose this stamp set for free from the celebration brochure. So I love this stamp set, and as soon as I saw it I wanted to do a pop-up card with it. So this is the card that I have come up with. So it starts off and it just says hey, and it's got a little crown, and obviously I'm Queen Pip, so I quite like the crown. I think that's quite cute. So it says hey, and then when you open the card you have 3 frogs, one sitting on a lily pad, one riding a unicycle, and one sort of saying, look at him. It's kind of Greatest Showman kind of thing meets frogs. That's that's kind of how I see it. Now I've used the Tropical Escape background papers here. So Tropical Escape, they come in 6x6 packet and 6x6 inches in size, or 15.2 by 15.2 centimeters. I'm going to make this card again, but I'm going to use these this time because I just think actually a lighter background might make the frogs show up a little bit better. So that's what we're going to do today. So pop-ups are very simple. They just require you to know some basics of the mechanics behind them. I am awful at maths, so please don't get thinking that if you're not good with numbers or figures or maths or whatever, you can't do pop-ups, because actually sort of the way this works is practical, so much easier to understand. They're basically just a bunch of bits of cardstock, okay, with some very specific rules that you need to follow. And I like rules. As long as I know my rules, I'm happy. Okay, so we're going to start off by cutting down our cardstock. Not our cardstock, our paper, in fact. This is our Tropical Escape, and it's going to be cut to 14.4 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And these are going to go inside the card. But it does leave this nice piece here, which you can then attach to the front of the card, which is what I did here. So you're going to keep that piece for the front. Don't need to keep that squiggly little bit. That can go in the bin. So you're going to do that, and you're going to do that twice. So you need 2 of those. 14.4. Get rid of that. By 10. Okay. And that's another piece of that. The only other thing that you need, actually I'll do those now while I've got this out, is you're obviously going to need a card base, which I've already cut down. This is just half a piece of A4 cardstock. You're going to need that, and then you are going to need some strips of cardstock. So I've taken the other half of this card base and I'm cutting it along the whole length. So this is 21 centimeters wide, and I'm just cutting at 2 centimeters. And we don't need them to be 21 centimeters, but we need them to be variable in length. So if you just cut 3 at 21 centimeters by 2 centimeters, then you can chop them down by hand. It doesn't need to be as precise, the next bit, if you see what I mean. This is the bit that matters. Okay, so we'll get those. So this is now the basis of our card, and that's pretty much all you need. I've got some front pieces to make the front decoration, but we'll come to that in a bit. I might not even finish the front decoration here today, because I just really want to show you the mechanism and getting it working for you at home so that you can follow along. I did a brilliant butterfly pop-up class, a completely different fold, butterflies open frontwards like that in this other card. So you'll see that up on my blog. And yeah, it went well. So I'm now kind of addicted to pop-ups, so you might find that you see more pop-ups than you ever wanted to in the near future. But I do like them. I think they're great fun, and I think with our stamps we've got such a great, because I'm a demonstrator, Stampin' Up demonstrator, we have such a great variety of stamp sets that we can use for any occasion, and quite a lot of them come with ways of cutting them out. Now when I made this card, and as I'm filming this video even, I don't have anything to cut these frogs out with other than by hand. However, next month, because I'm fairly sure this video is going to go out in Feb, next month in March there are some framelits coming out that you can buy. So if you earn this stamp set for free in February, you can then in March buy the framelits that will cut out the frogs, and I wish I had those when I was making this pop-up card. Okay, now you'll see, you might have noticed, I put a lot of glue on the inside edge of this, okay, more than I would normally, because that's the piece where the mechanics is going to happen, and so you want to make sure that that is absolutely solid. Okay, you don't want any flappy bits of paper when you're going to have your cardstock pulling against it, because there's quite a lot of force actually, you wouldn't realise, but there is, when it's got some leaves and some frogs and stuff stuck on the end, it's got quite a lot of force to it. Okay, so again I'm just adding extra glue to that edge, and again multi-purpose glue. I can't say how much I love this stuff for things that are like this. 3D just provides a brilliant hold. Okay, there we go. So it's got a little gap in the middle, that's fine, that's the actual crease. We don't want to go right to the centre, because if we did it would get too bulky. Okay, as it is, this one you can see never really closes. It's got that bounce to it because it never shuts, but so if you went too close you'd have even more. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually work out how big we want our frogs to be. So I'm going to just bring this one back out again. So hopefully you can see here that this central frog is the biggest frog. Okay, so we want him on the smallest of our little pop-ups. Okay, then this one that sits on the lily pad, well, sort of on a lily pad, it's my interpretation of a lily pad, you want him to be quite high up, so you want him on one of the biggest pop-ups. And then this little guy here, he's kind of in the middle. Alright, what you don't want is you don't want anything hanging over this edge, top and bottom, and you don't want anything hanging over these edges, top and bottom. Okay, so when you put your card together you need to be quite careful about how you're doing your designs. So I'm going to show you how I've done my frogs. You'll be glad to know I have done some earlier. Okay, so you don't have to watch me go through a stamp and dye and colour and cut them out. I've done these two, and I've done some of my leaves already. Okay, and fussy cut them out. See, he's going to show up better I think on that. So we need to know roughly where our frogs are going to go. I am going to stamp the other one and just show you how I coloured him in. So let's stamp him. You're going to need your Memento ink pad, and you're going to need the Granny Apple Green Stampin' Blends, and I've used also the dark soft Seafoam blend. I'm just going to pop him on there like so, and then really simple colouring, dark Granny Apple Green for his spots, or her spots, could be her spots, just some dark into the hinges as it were, where it's going to be sitting dark underneath there, and then just round the back here and a bit on the nose. Everything else is light Granny Apple Green, and I'm just small circular motions bringing that ink in just to blend it. Okay, so you see how I did that? Very quickly, very simply. It's going to be slightly lighter than the other ones, because the other ones I did add a little bit more dark to, but that's okay, doesn't matter. And then you're going to use your scissors and you're going to cut her out. You won't have to do this in March, you will have framelits to do this. I don't have framelits at the moment, so I am cutting it out by hand. but it is quite quick. You just, you know, don't be too anal about getting into all of the nooks and crannies. Just go round the feet, round that feet. There we go. You know, because you can hide some of this with leaves and stuff like that if you wanted to, so you don't have to be completely into all of the corners. But it doesn't take long anyway, you know, just to cut this out. But I am glad they're bringing out framelits, because I would like to make some more of these pop-up cards, and that's the framelits that I want to have. I think they're going to be on a limited time basis, and you can buy them. I think they're going to be £25 for a set of framelits to cut out all your frogs. That's what I'm thinking. That if I've only just heard the news of it, so you can tell when I'm videoing this if you're a demo. But yes, I'm very excited about the frogs and the frog framelits, because we like frogs in our house. My husband, when he saw this card, he was like, oh, now that is a wow card. I'm like, thanks. So all the rest of mine are just like boring. And he was like, no, the other ones, the butterflies are wow as well, he said, but that's funny. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So that says more about my husband, I think, than my stamping. But he thought it would be great for kids, and I agree, actually. I think this would be a fantastic, you've got kids and they're doing really well, you know, this would be a great card for them. Okay, so there we go. So that's him chopped out. Didn't take very long. So now you can position these, and you can see how big, you know, if you want them all to be kind of on the same, you want him to be a little bit higher, you want these to be showing off the guy on the unicycle. So you're going to take your cardstock, and you're just going to work out where you want him to be, and you're going to say, well, this needs to be one of my bigger ones. So let's fold a piece of cardstock like this and chop off this end. This is really crucial, okay? All your pop-up pieces have to have a middle. They have to have an equal length on this side and this side. The folds on these sides don't have to be exactly the same, okay? But the middle fold has to be right in the middle of the cardstock, okay? So this one, I'm just going to fold this one in about 2/3 and this one in about 1/3, so I get a different sizing, okay? And then that's going to go like that. So that is going to work perfectly for my little frog to sit there, okay? So he's going to come up and he's going to look like that, and he's going to sit on there like that. So that's a perfect size for that. That's good. And the way you can check whether he's actually going to come off the page is you need to put this down like this and attach him to it. So you'll see that he's just going to come there right to that edge on the inside. If he's under there, he's going to be there. So that is the biggest you can get. That's the longest piece you can have. And if you measure that, I'll give you a rough guide, that's 17 centimetres, almost bang on, folded at 8.5, okay? Just to give you an idea. And we really do need to give our paper good creases, so always do your bone folders on all your edges. Okay, so that's that piece. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach it down, because then once that's in place, then you can see where everything else goes. Okay, now if I put the shorter piece at the front and the longer piece at the back, he would sit further back that way, like this. But if I put it the other way round, he sits more upright, which is kind of how I want him. So I'm just going to do the longer tab, the 2/3 one that I did at the back. And having your frogs actually on the cardstock does actually help, because you can actually see roughly whereabouts you're going to want to place it. So I'm going to place it just about in here, and you want to get it up to the line, but not actually in the crease. Okay, so make sure you're not in the crease. Make sure it's straight. Always helps. And make sure it's stuck. Okay, then you're just going to fold that piece down, and it's a bit like when you do a box and you're just going to fold something on top of it. You're going to just, you know, you fold your edges over to get your sides stuck down. You're just going to do that, fold the card over and stick that in place. Okay, and now when you open it, you have the miracle of a pop-up. Easy peasy, huh? But because we made sure that both the edges, both the pieces were exactly the same in length, it folds flat. If you get that wrong, you're scuppered. Alright, so then the next piece we want to be shorter because it's our longest frog, so we only need a tiny little piece for our frog down there. So I'm just going to go kind of that sort of size. I don't even know what that is. Cut that bit off. What's this? Make sure it's folded in half. This is 12 centimeters. Wow, I'm pretty good at like measuring these identically. How bizarre is that? And then I'm just going to fold this right into the center of that, so these are going to be equal on both sides. Okay, like that. So make sure they've got good folds. Do all your burnishing. Yeah, it's a bit, you know, this is the boring bit, doing the burnishing, but again, once you've got him in place, you will see that that's going to create you, oh actually that's a bit too flat. Okay, so see, that's gone a bit too flat now. We don't want him down there, do we? We want him much more upright. So to get him much more upright, we just chop off these ends. Make sure they're together so that you've got an equal piece. So now what's this? Okay, so that's gone down to like 9.5. And then if you put those two there, that's better. It gives you a higher piece. Okay, so he's now going to go there on his unicycle. You see that? Hopefully not. Well, when I stick it, you will. So we're going to do exactly the same. I keep saying gonna. I don't mean to say gonna. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. We're going to do this and we're going to do that, Pip. Get your enunciation correct. Okay, so we're going to put that down there like that. Make sure that it is straight and aligned with the, oops, with the other side. Make sure we've got enough room too, actually, to add in our other one. Just about. It's going to be a little bit off, but never mind. We can move him along slightly whilst the glue's still wet, but not too much. Okay, there we go. Then we're going to put that flat, same as we did before. Glue down on the tab, fold over, close and stick. There we go. All right, so that's him. And then we'll put the next one here. And I think I just did sort of a medium size, probably about the same size, but I think I did one side longer than the other to make him pop up a bit more. So let's do this. And again, so you put one closer and one further apart, further away even, and then when they go together that makes them stand up. Yeah, that's okay, isn't it, I think? Is that too big? He'll be there, he'll be there, and he'll be there. Oh yeah, that's okay still, I think. He shouldn't go outside, as long as he's like this, yeah. Okay, so again, we might just, that's the other thing we need to just check with this one. His whole wheel is going to stick down to make sure that he folds within the, you know, you're going to have to stick him quite low down to this, so he's actually going to end up looking like that. So that means he will end up looking like that. Yeah, that'll be okay, I think. Okay, so you see, you just have to have a little bit of thinking about where everything's going to go, but once you've got that sussed, then you're okay. So we will stick this down. More glue here. How are we doing for time? Okay, not too bad. So stick him down there. Whoops. Oh, come on, Pip. There we go. He's about the same distance away now. Alrighty. Make sure that he can attach himself. Yeah, that's okay. He's going to come up to about his armpit when he's attached. Alright. So then stick this down. And I'm going to show you how I attach them, but it's going to be quite quick because I don't want to use up all your time. Because this is the important bit. Once you've got this bit sussed, the rest is just decoration. There we go. So that's our pop-up with 3, apparently they're parallelograms. I don't know, triangles is what I make them, but apparently they're parallelograms because you make the 3rd side out of a 4th piece of paper, like a 4th tab or something. But anyway, see how they're all different? You can make them any size and shape and heights and depths and all that kind of stuff, whatever you want really. The important thing is, as I say, they must always fold completely flat, so it has to be of equal distance in total to the base pieces. Alright, then all I did was I got some glue dots, my trusty glue dots. Where are they? Got my glue dots. I stuck on a few of these vellum leaves, not so that they'd stick out too far, but just so that they'd add a little bit of interest behind the frog when the frog was standing or sitting or doing whatever he's doing, unicycling. There we go, stick that one on. And then stick something on here because you want a little bit of pop-up apart from just the frogs, in my view. So I just added some leaves. You want to also just make sure that they're not going to overlap too badly with each other, so they don't catch when they're going up and down. So that's another reason to make the middle one just step back a little bit from the front, because it means that it won't catch on each other as they fold. Okay, then I did a few more higher ones for this girl or guy. Again, just need to make sure, oh, that's a little high, it's to come down just a smidgy. See what I mean? You just got to check that it's gonna, you can just about pull down one of those, make sure it comes inside. And then next I did some down here, and I'm really kind of whizzing through this. And then I added a green one. Actually, I think I did another. Let's do another one over here. Whoops. Oh, sorry for the scraping of nails. There we go. Did another one down here like this. There we go. You probably can't see what I'm doing, so let me do it like this. That's probably better. So then I added a little bit of glue just to the bottom piece of this leaf, stuck it with a glue dot, and then kind of covered up some of the vellum with some green leaves. And I did the same on the one where the guy's standing, because you want to cover up the glue dots, because otherwise the glue dots will stick to where am I going? Stick to the other side of the card. When you actually put it down, you don't want any of the glue dots to actually stick to the card, so you're just really trying to cover those up. Okay, and have that. So now finally we're just going to attach our frog, and you just do the bit that's going to be on the card. Okay, he's going to go down there, so we're going to pop him right down there, hold him, gently hold him, hopefully you can see all this, gently hold him, there we go. Then our standy uppy one, his legs are going to go, we might even get, it's up to his armpit I said, wasn't it? So we're going to do the bottom of his tummy with glue, she says, come on, there we go, down his legs, feet, you know, all these things will help to hold him in place, but don't do too much glue so it kind of oozes out. He's going to go there. Oh no, bottom of his armpit, bit lower. There. Oh, he looks cute there. I like that. Okay, and then this one we said couldn't come out more than the base of the card, so I'm just going to put it on the base of the card and figure out where that is. That's about, I can see it's about where his hand is, so we'll just put some glue over here just on this base of his tummy, and it needs to be, he needs to sit in about there. Okay, there we go. So that is now your pop-up card. All fits in nicely, all sits lovely. Definitely, I think, shows up better actually against this green background than it does against this black background. I like both, but you know, I think he does show up, they do show up a little bit better against that. And all I did then was I just added this strip of paper here, stamped "You Can Do Anything" in the granny apple green, popped on a few bees, or I don't know if they're bees, I think they're flies actually. They're flies for the frogs to eat. So flies, "You Can Do Anything," and then on the front on here, because you do want to have a little bit of decoration, even though the majority of the card is inside, you do want to have a bit of decoration on the front. So on the front, piece of Whisper White cardstock, 9.5 by 13.9, on top of, this time I'm going to try some soft sea foam, 10 by 14.4. Take your little strip that you had left over and cut that down to 9.5, and then it will fit perfectly onto your piece of Whisper White like this. Stamp the frog, and then just use some of this beautiful, where is it, double-sided reversible ribbon. So it's Bermuda Bay on one side and Granny Apple Green on the other. Isn't that gorgeous? Satin, lovely ribbon. So yeah, so then I just popped a little bit of that on there, coloured my frog, and there you go. You have a frog pop-up. So that's what I'm going to do on that. You don't need to necessarily wait around and see me do that. So I'm going to put all the photographs up obviously on the blog, and all the dimensions for all the pieces of cardstock. So there you go. Pop-up card with So Hoppy together. All the details on how to get hold of these items are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching my pop-up video today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope I've inspired lots of froggy pop-ups. And don't forget to check back next month for the framelits that will cut these out and make that so much easier. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care for now. Cheers. Bye.